Hi, I'm Caden.
Hi, my name is Stanley.
And I'm Simon, and this is the immune system.
How's your body able to defend against billions of possible bacteria, viruses, fungi, and whatever else there is? With the use of the immune system. The immune system is the second most complex body system, only being surpassed by the brain. It consists of hundreds of tiny lymph nodes, two major organs being the thymus and the spleen, and a lymph vessel that immune cells travel in. There are also two major subsystems, the innate system, which you are born with, and the adaptive immune system, which changes over time. The immune system works with several other systems, such as the respiratory system, which has sensory cells in the respiratory tract to detect infections. Here are some things about the innate and adaptive immune system. One of the main cells in the innate immune system is the macrophage. These are extremely large and grab bacteria and eat them whole. Neutrophils are made to kill using their deadly toxins and DNA nets. Dendritic cells cover themselves with foreign bacteria parts to work in tandem with helper T cells. And finally, there's the complement system, which is a set of 15 quintillion proteins floating around the body. The adaptive immune system contains helper T cells. Your body has at least one helper T cell for billions of possible diseases. Just like T cells, your body also has at least one B cell which produces antibodies for every possible disease. Memory cells are made after an infection is defeated. And finally, there's the killer T cell, aka the cytotoxic T cell. These kill foreign cells, cancer cells, and infected cells. In the case of an infection, the foreign body, such as a bacteria, enters the body. The first defense to appear is the innate immune system. The dendritic cells will activate T cells, which will start the adaptive immune system's response. After the infection is defeated, memory cells are made. Now let's go deeper into what happens with an infection.
Bacteria works very fast, and even in small cuts, millions of bacteria can enter. Macrophages are the first line of defense. They immediately start to kill the foreign bodies after they enter. A macrophage, a single one, can destroy around 100 bacteria. Macrophages are more than double the size of a normal cell. When macrophages begin to wear out and get overwhelmed, they send chemical signals to the brain calling for neutrophils. A neutrophil is a very important cell. Its only job is to kill. That being said, they excrete deadly chemicals that destroy bacteria violently, and they can also choose to explode, trapping and killing bacteria in their own DNA. These attacks can damage your own cells, but neutrophils don't really care.
There are many functions when it comes to C3b and its significant role in the body. C3b is a powerful tool that is used against invaders by undergoing different series of processes. C3b creates a hook, making it easier for phagocytes to grab, and it can pierce foreign organisms and tear holes in them. C3b is most effective against viruses because viruses are helpless outside of an affected cell. Lastly, the complement system is not unstoppable. For example, the Vaccinia virus produces a protein shutting down the complement system around an infected cell. The dendritic cell plays a significant role in the immune system, acting as sort of an intelligence officer. The dendritic cell collects samples by ripping bacteria into tiny parts and covering itself in it. The cell leaves the battlefield and enters the superhighway of your immune system that connects all your tissues with your lymph nodes. Continuing, some fun facts about the dendritic cell is that there are at least one helper T cell for one of billions of possible diseases. The dendritic cell will go around and rub itself, still covered in bacteria parts, against every helper T cell it needs. How do both of these functions work together? Well, after a few hours, it finds a helper T cell that recognizes the bacteria parts. Then after the dendritic cell activates the helper T cell, working together in perfect harmony. Next, the activated helper T cell begins to clone itself over and over again until there are thousands of them. They split into two groups. The first group quickly moves to the battlefield. The helper T cells have many different functions, but this is also a very important one, playing a significant role in your body. When the macrophage is tired, the helper T cells go to a tired macrophage and wake it up by using special chemical signals. Then, as a result, the macrophage regains strength and begins to fight again after being waken up by the helper T cell special signals. How do antibodies work? Well, when the second group of helper cells are working on activating another line of defense, B cells, your antibody factories. Similar to T cells, there are specialized B cells for every possible disease. Antibodies and B cells are another line of defense in your immune system. After the process shown previously in slide 20, the B cell begins to clone itself. As soon as enough clones have been made, each B cell begins pumping out up to 2,000 antibodies per second. Then the antibody starts pinching and stunning the bacteria, which the antibodies clump them together and make them unable to move or fight.
But how does the body make specialized T and B cells? Introducing the thymus. This organ is small and right above the heart. The thymus will change the DNA of T and B cells to create billions of unique cells. They're tested for any hostility towards your own body. and only about 2% of cells make it out of the thymus. And when they do, they're stored in a library of T and B cells with the ability to defend your body against up to 10 billion different possible enemies. After an infection, memory cells are made. Most T and B cells will die, but a few will stay behind, mostly shutting down. T cells will become guards protecting tissue around the infected area, and B cells will float around, releasing low levels of antibodies for that bacteria. But what happens when your immune system doesn't work properly? Autoimmune disease is when your own immune system attacks you. This can occur when a cell hostile to your own proteins escapes the thymus, when a cytotoxic T cell escapes your bloodstream, and in a few other ways. One example of autoimmune disease is the rheumatoid arthritis, which attacks the joints. Another example is type 1 diabetes, which is the destruction of the cells that make insulin in the pancreas, caused both by the immune system and the environment. Here are our sources, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.